So you've decided to finally live the island lifestyle, and you're trying to decide between a move to San Juan Island and Orcas Island. Well, they're both absolutely stunning, but they live very differently. Take it from me, I lived in the islands for 6 years. So if you're planning a move or retirement or a second home in the San Juans, this video is going to help you make the right choice for your lifestyle. I'm real estate broker Leah Courage, and we at the Courage Group help buyers and sellers navigate real estate in the beautiful North Puget Sound and the San Juan Islands, which happens to be one of the most incredible and unique places in the entire Pacific Northwest. And in this video, we're going deep on San Juan Island versus Orcas Island. The islands may look close together on a map, but their personalities could not be farther apart. Which one fits you best depends on how you live and what you're really looking for in your next chapter. Let's start with something you'll deal with often, which is access and getting there. Both islands are accessed via Washington State ferries that leave from Anacortes. Depending on the season and demand, the crossing to Orcas takes about an hour, and getting to San Juan takes about an hour and a half. You'll also absolutely want a reservation during the busy months. Delays can and do happen, so be prepared to embrace what we call island time. Once you land on the islands, the experience completely differs between the two. San Juan Island is the most developed and the busiest of all of the islands in the San Juan Islands, and when you arrive on the ferry in downtown Friday Harbor, you step right off the ferry into a full-service town with restaurants and shops and galleries and hotels and services all within walking distance. Orcas Island, by contrast, greets you at the ferry landing in a much quieter area. You will need to drive about 20 minutes to get to East Sound, which is the main commercial hub of the island. And the rest of the island is even more rural, with beautiful winding roads and dense forests and long drives between communities. So, San Juan Island is considerably more walkable and accessible straight from the ferry, while Orcas offers more seclusion and nature, but you will absolutely need a car or a really hefty bike. Let's talk about lifestyle and culture, because this is where the islands really separate. So, San Juan Island is ideal if you love the idea of a walkable, energetic town. Friday Harbor is the heartbeat of the island, with the year-round population, super strong tourism economy, and live music, restaurants, wine bars, a movie theater, art walks, museums, and more. It feels very alive, especially in the summertime. If you like having that energy around you and being able to walk to coffee and living where people come to vacation, San Juan absolutely delivers. Orcas Island, on the other hand, is definitely the more spiritual, creative, and nature-centric of the two islands. The vibe is slower, quieter, and more introspective. The community is tight-knit and artistic, and nature is front and center with loads of organic farms, hidden beaches, misty forests, and a whole bunch of artisans living on island. East Sound is charming and has great restaurants and galleries, but outside of East Sound, the island tends to be vast, wild, and deeply peaceful. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest deciding factors for most buyers, which of course is real estate. Because while both islands offer that magical, I can't believe I live here feeling, they're very different when it comes to inventory. Let's start with San Juan Island. So if you want walkability and a home near town and access to restaurants, art galleries, and groceries without driving 20 minutes, this is your island. Many homes are clustered within or near Friday Harbor, and you'll find a wide variety: historic craftsman homes, classic island cabins, updated bungalows in town, and some of the most absolutely stunning waterfront estates priced in the tens of millions of dollars. Because of Friday Harbor's role as the island's commercial hub, homes near town tend to be more expensive per square foot, and turnkey homes in or around town are always in high demand. You'll always find rural properties further out, especially on the west side of the island near beautiful Limekiln State Park, with incredible sunset views and whale sightings, quite literally, from your backyard. Prices here can vary widely, but the general rule on San Juan Island is this: the closer you are to town or the water and the better the views, the higher the price. Now let's talk about Orcas Island. The housing stock here is considerably less dense, it's more rural, and in some areas, a lot more rustic. You'll find beautiful custom homes tucked into the forest, cabins on acreage, farm-style homes, and high-end waterfront retreats with sweeping views of the Salish Sea. The main town, East Sound, has some walkable options, but the bulk of Orcas real estate is considerably more spread out and often with larger parcels and more privacy. Orcas also tends to have fewer homes for sale at any given time compared to San Juan Island, and homes can stay on the market a little bit longer simply due to the remoteness of the island. But for buyers who want seclusion, space, and a sincere connection to nature, Orcas real estate has a very special energy. Now, what about zoning and vacation rentals? And this is very important. Both islands fall under San Juan County, which has very strict vacation rental permitting regulations. There is currently a moratorium in place, so you can't get a new vacation rental. If you're thinking of buying a home and renting it out short term, you'll want to make sure that the property has a valid, transferable vacation rental permit, or be prepared to apply and wait a long time, as not all areas allow new permits. On San Juan Island, vacation rentals are more common near Friday Harbor and Roche Harbor, where there's simply more demand from tourists. On Orcas, vacation rentals tend to do very well near East Sound, Olga, West Sound, and in waterfront areas, but again, availability is more limited and you'll need to navigate county rules very carefully. We always recommend working with a local broker, like us, who knows how to assess a property's eligibility before you fall in love. Now let's talk about something that's easy to overlook until it really matters, which is medical care and emergency access. So whether you're planning to live full-time or just seasonally on the islands, it's very important to know what your options are in case you or someone you love needs urgent care. Let's start with San Juan Island here. This is the only island in the archipelago with a full hospital, which is the Peace Health Peace Island Medical Center, located just outside Friday Harbor. It's small, but it's a modern facility with a 24/7 emergency room, imaging, lab work, primary care, and some limited specialty services. If something more serious happens, say a major trauma or condition that needs a specialist ASAP, you will very likely be airlifted to either St. Joseph Medical Center in Bellingham or to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle, which is a level 1 trauma center and, in my opinion, one of the best hospitals in the region and the place that I would go. The good news is that San Juan Island has both a helipad and EMS services right there, so in a real emergency, help can be dispatched very quickly. Now, what about Orcas Island? So Orcas has the Orcas Island Medical Center in East Sound, which provides routine care or some urgent care and primary care services. There's no hospital, so to speak, on the island and no real emergency room. For day-to-day health care, it's a great community resource, but for anything more than that basic visit, you'll need to leave the island. In emergency situations, Orcas also has an EMS team and a helipad, and you can be airlifted off island just like on San Juan. But response times can be slightly longer, especially if you live on the outer edges of the island like Olga or Doe Bay. It's also worth noting that seasonal population shifts, really on both islands, can impact medical access. During peak summer, both Orcas and San Juan see a huge influx of visitors, which can stretch resources and cause appointment backlogs or make urgent care harder to access on short notice. If you're looking for more readily available healthcare, then San Juan definitely comes out ahead of Orcas. But if you're comfortable with a rural family doctor and a small medical center, Orcas is still a great option. Let's move on to something that might not sound glamorous, but trust me, it matters a lot more when you're actually living on an island, and that's infrastructure and everyday services. We're talking about power, internet, groceries, gas, restaurants, mail service, and all the little conveniences that we rely on every single day but tend to take for granted. So let's start with San Juan Island. Because of Friday Harbor, San Juan has the most developed infrastructure in the entire island chain. You have multiple grocery stores, including King's Market and Friday Harbor Marketplace, a co-op, a pharmacy, several gas stations, hardware stores, banks, a post office, and shipping centers. There's also reliable garbage and recycling pickup, and high-speed internet is also widely available. Power outages do happen, of course. This is the islands after all, but response times tend to be faster on San Juan because of the more concentrated population and the closer access to utilities and crews. Cell service is generally very strong near town and decent across much of the island, though of course there are always those little dead zones in rural pockets. Dining-wise, Friday Harbor actually offers a surprising number of options. You'll find everything from fine dining to wine bars to breweries, breakfast spots, and even a movie theater. It's a small town, but it's definitely active, especially in the summer. Now, let's head over to Orcas Island. So your central hub here is East Sound, which has a great co-op grocery store, several charming cafes and restaurants, a hardware store, a post office, a bigger grocery, and a handful of boutiques and beautiful galleries. The Orcas Food Co-op is an absolute gem for local goods and organic foods, and Island Market is your go-to for other grocery basics. Outside of East Sound, though, the island is very spread out and services become sparse very quickly. You won't find as many dining options on Orcas as on San Juan, and many businesses close or they reduce hours in the off-season. So if you're someone who likes to grab takeout, catch a movie, or dine out a few times a week, then Orcas is probably going to feel pretty limited, especially in the wintertime. Internet is available island-wide on Orcas, but it can be less consistent, especially in remote areas or forested areas. Power outages are slightly more frequent on Orcas and may take a little longer to resolve depending on how far out your property is. That being said, many homes on Orcas are set up for off-grid backup with generators, solar, or wood heat, so you'll often find infrastructure solutions built directly into the home. Both islands have waste and recycling services and mail delivery, package access, and etc. But if you're used to 2-day prime delivery, be prepared to wait a little bit longer, especially on Orcas. So what's the takeaway? If you're looking for convenience, walkability, and year-round services, San Juan Island takes the lead. If you're comfortable with a slower pace, a bit more planning ahead, and you love the idea of living closer to the rhythms of nature, Orcas Island offers something really special. Now let's talk about one of the biggest reasons that people fall in love with island living in the first place, which of course is the great outdoors. If you're drawn to the San Juan Islands, then chances are you're craving a lifestyle that revolves around nature, fresh air, wildlife, wide open views. And the good news, both San Juan and Orcas are incredible for that. But once again, the way you experience the outdoors on each island is pretty different. So let's start with Orcas Island, often referred to as the gem of the San Juan Islands, and for good reason. Orcas is wild, very forested, and dramatic in its natural beauty. It's home to Moran State Park, which has more than 5,000 acres of protected forest lands where you can actually find giant old-growth trees, 5 freshwater lakes, waterfalls, and more than 30 miles of hiking trails, including the iconic climb up to Mount Constitution, where you'll get one of the most jaw-dropping panoramic views in the entire Puget Sound. You can hike, swim, kayak, do loads of mountain biking, or just sit by the lake and breathe in the quiet on Orcas. This island is for nature lovers who want to be totally immersed and who don't mind a little uphill climb every now and again. Outside Moran State Park, Orcas also has beautiful coastal kayaking, hidden beaches like Obstruction Pass, and an abundance of wildlife. Deer are everywhere, and bald eagles soar above regularly. If you want the kind of outdoor life that's centered on solitude, scenery, and soul-stirring real beauty, Orcas is honestly very hard to beat. Now let's talk about San Juan Island, which has its own outdoor magic, but it's more open and accessible, especially if you want less rugged terrain and more variety in your outings. So San Juan Island is known for its pastoral beauty, rolling farmland, sweeping meadows, and expansive water views from just about anywhere. One of its biggest outdoor draws is Lime Kiln Point State Park, also known as Whale Watch Park, where you can regularly see orcas from the shore during migration seasons. It's one of the best land-based whale watching spots in the world, and it's just a short drive from town. You'll also find American Camp and English Camp, 2 historic parks with stunning bluff trails, sandy beach access, and interpretive centers. And if you're into walking trails with less elevation and beach combing, or you love coastal drives, San Juan Island offers a much more laid-back version of outdoor life with plenty of access points right from your car or your bike. If boating is part of your lifestyle or part of your retirement dream, this next section is going to be key. So let's start with San Juan Island, which is home to the largest and most developed marina in the islands, Friday Harbor Marina. This full-service marina has moorage for over 500 vessels, including guest slips, long-term slips, fuel docks, water and power hookups, showers, laundry, and even Wi-Fi. It's right in town and extremely walkable, which makes it an ideal stop for cruisers and liveaboards. If you're someone who likes to step off your boat and head straight to dinner or grab groceries, Friday Harbor is hard to beat. You'll also find Roche Harbor Marina on the north end of the island, which is its own destination. It has restaurants, shops, art installations, and a beautiful resort setting. Both marinas offer direct access to the San Juans and the Gulf Islands and even Alaska and beyond, making San Juan Island a very strategic and convenient hub for seasoned boaters. Now let's look at Orcas Island. So while the boating lifestyle here is just as present, it's a little quieter and a little bit more tucked away. The main facility is West Sound Marina, which offers moorage, haul-out services, and some boat repair, but it's smaller and more low-key than Friday Harbor. There's also Deer Harbor Marina, which is picturesque and totally charming, with guest moorage and a few amenities, though it's considerably smaller in scale. You'll find other moorage options in East Sound and Obstruction Pass, but Orcas doesn't have a centralized marina like Friday Harbor. What Orcas does offer is a more intimate boating experience. It's perfect for people who want to get away from it all on the water without the hustle and bustle of a busy harbor. So what's the bottom line here? If you want to be a part of a thriving boating community and have access to full-service marinas and be able to dock, refuel, and walk to dinner all in the same evening, San Juan Island is absolutely the better choice. But if your boating lifestyle is more about peaceful anchorages, paddling, and escaping into nature, and you don't need the bells and whistles of a major marina, then Orcas Island will feel like your own private paradise. So by now you've heard about the access, the homes, the services, the nature, and even the marinas. But here's the real question: which island actually fits you? Because let's be honest, choosing between San Juan and Orcas isn't just about ferry schedules or home prices. It's about how you live. What fills your cup? What kind of energy do you want around you every day? So let's start with San Juan Island. If you're someone who loves the balance of nature and convenience, maybe you want to spend the morning walking on the beach and the evening listening to live music at a wine bar, San Juan Island might be the perfect fit for you. It's great for people who want a walkable downtown and also want to stay uber social and enjoy a little more structure in their everyday life. There's a sense of activity and access here, from Friday Harbor's shops and events to the huge variety of services and amenities on the island right at your fingertips. It's also ideal if you want to be a little bit less isolated. With more full-time residents and medical care nearby, San Juan tends to be perfect for retirees, professionals working remotely, or anyone who wants to experience island life but without giving up the comforts of a connected community. Now, what about beautiful Orcas Island? Well, if you're drawn to solitude, natural beauty, and the idea of being tucked into the trees with a view of the sea, then this might be your place. Orcas is all about quiet mornings, creative energy, and a more introspective, slow-moving lifestyle. It tends to attract artists, makers, writers, organic farmers, and people who love a sense of remoteness without being completely off the grid. If your dream is waking up to birdsong, hiking a forest trail before lunch, and having your nearest neighbor about a quarter mile away, or if you're craving a place to reset and reconnect, Orcas Island will probably feel like home from the moment you arrive. Of course, there's no wrong answer here. Both islands are incredible. They just serve different people for different reasons. San Juan Island is for the community-driven, convenience-loving person who still wants to be surrounded by nature. Orcas Island is for the solitude seeker, the deep feeler, and the one who's ready to slow down and live a little wilder. And if you're somewhere in between, well, that's what we're here for, to help you figure it out. Still not sure which island fits your lifestyle best? We totally get it. It's a huge decision, and both San Juan and Orcas have so much to offer. If you're exploring a move to the islands, please reach out to us directly. We've helped clients navigate both markets, and we would love to help you compare properties or book a tour or just talk through your options. No pressure, just honest guidance. Thank you so much for watching, and please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications. And if you're planning on buying or selling a home in the North Puget Sound and you're looking for expert representation, we would love to connect with you. Our contact information is in the description below, and we would truly be honored to help you make your next move with confidence. Thank you again for watching. Keep exploring, and we will see you in the next video.